this side. You see that shoulder popping out right there? You have to pop it out fully and you bring it to the front. Watch this. Watch real close. Oh! Whoa! And you're free, you know what I'm saying? You'll never get locked up again. Okay?
Fucking Fergie.
Apúntame otro casi casi, porque todo tiene que empezarlo. Y es ahora, dime guardia. Like, there's always gonna be hood in me. Like, there's hood me, and then there's evolved me. La canción que escribió cuando él la dejó por otra justo cuando ella más lo amaba. Y con esa rabia en el pecho, se convirtió en la reina del reggaetón. Ivy Queen, la pionera del género urbano femenino, que estaba enamorada y comprometida con el nuevo gran man. Eso es
somehow acquired a civic weapons. We've already lost several supply caravans.
Luckily, they left some of the acid behind. I've traced the origin to this region.
We need to shut this operation down. At the source, freelancer.
It would be my pleasure.
Sin dinero, sin amor y con el corazón más roto que nunca. Pero no lloró frente a las cámaras, lloró en el estudio. Y de hecho,
Shade the energy up ahead. Looks like it's coming from two relics.
That's where the scars will be.
Y tu amiga, cualquiera, fue un grito de guerra, una advertencia. Ivy no solo rompió el silencio. Nadie la ha bajado del trono, porque no hay nada más peligroso que estar con los humanos. La canción que
Relics up ahead. Scars need a number to it.
Silence it before it gets any worse.
I hate you.
Good. I'd say you're half there.
I need assistance.
Fuck.
Hi, I'm Jesus.
We did it. Relic silenced.
Is it just me, or were those scars bringing eggs to that relic?
Not just you. The eggs are filled with acid. Could be the weapon's source.
If they're at the second relic, we'll know for sure.
I want to see the second relic.
That's a lot more scars than this one.
True, but there's eggs as well. The theory's correct, freelancer.
La fiesta decía que todavía faltaba unos 15 días desde los restos de los y los tienen a buscarlo porque el mundo quiere que van a tener fama de pensar que la fiesta de
Scars and bone.
That's really what I said to
There, silence. Quickly. What was that?
Probably this thing producing these eggs.
Which means you want me to get rid of it.
That's the job.
Looks like the scream came from underground. I'll find you a way to it. Looks like you'll have to go through the water.
Give me money. Give it to me right now. Now. Give me no. Give me money. It's like, I touched
Way too many eggs.
Just because no one crossed the road.
Is that?
Another relic. Take caution. It's unstable.
Okay. No, I told you so's.
I'll refrain if you collect the fragments.
This billionaire Shakira doesn't even have a bed in her bedroom. The reason behind this is truly heartbreaking. She living life luxury. She doesn't own a $50 million mansion. Instead, she lives in a simple apartment. Most of the furniture is secondhand. Chairs that cost just back and trying to she doesn't stay in a five-star hotel. She just doesn't regular $50 a night. She doesn't collect sports cars. Doesn't have
Are you studying your doctorate tonight? Salvation.
Wait. You ever see this type of yellow-colored soil in between the stones? Then pastel, algo, 2 o 3 poquitos, para que no te quede tan mal. Tenemos que tener plátano, calabaza, guineo y yautía. Ok, ponemos todos a los dos, para que famous white women who marry black men. Adele. Adele met Ricky Paul on the dance floor of a birthday party. After 3 years of a loving relationship,
Must have left scars.
presenting Adele with carried by Marie. Who accepted over to Heidi Paul married.
Only a few fragments remaining.
More scars. Big ones.
Which is more painful, vaginal industry, very infection. Today, let me introduce the principles and processes.
No, energy readings are stabilizing. Stay in the center. Any interference will slow down the process. Freelancer, the only way out of here is if you stay on the platform.
We're close.
his daughter to bite his shoulder before going off to military. If he dies, he wants to carry her mark and name as a tattoo to always keep her with him. Sadly, the father's gesture didn't get any money. This man asked for God.
Ana Gabriela le fue infiel a Ana María Polo.
Ya no estamos casados. Ana la mujer de una joven de 20 años y es algo que no le voy a perdonar.
Cuando Ana María Polo procedió hacia apenas unos meses,
Nadie, ya que se
protegida de las cámaras, sería el prólogo de una ruptura que hoy sacude el entretenimiento latinoamericano.
I knew it would be big, but can all see it, Sam. No need to elaborate. Is it over?
Yes. No life signs detected. The scars will have to find a new egg source.
Maybe a smaller one next time.
Estas personas, en actitud demasiado cercana con una joven de 20 años. Usada por la incertidumbre, la doctora Polo acudió al lugar al día siguiente, dispuesta a comprobar que los comentarios eran imputados. Lo que encontró terminó por derrumbar cualquier esperanza. La intérprete de ¿Quién como tú? Descansaba en la mesa que ambas consideraban su rincón, sosteniendo de la mano a aquella muchacha, las velas encendidas, una copa de vino compartida y las miradas cargadas de complicidad. Para despejar cualquier duda. No fue necesario pedir explicaciones. Todavía con un matiz de incredulidad, al rememorar la escena que, para ella, convirtió un sitio lleno de recuerdos en testigo de la deslealtad. En cuestión de horas, la decepción se transformó en determinación. Polo abandonó el restaurante sin confrontaciones públicas, pero esa misma noche empaquetó sus pertenencias esenciales y contactó a su equipo legal para iniciar los trámites de divorcio. La decisión principio irrenunciable. La lealtad es indivisible. Entregué el alma a este proyecto de vida en esto no se fue. Declaró con voz firme en la entrevista exclusiva y anunció la separación. Para ella, el respeto perdido no admite segundas oportunidades. La aún expareja había mantenido su relación dentro de la prensa durante años, convencida de que la intimidad era la mejor aliada del mundo. Dentro de este pacto de discreción, se planeó una boda privada celebrada al amanecer en una playa apartada, ceremonia descrita por los pocos testigos como profundamente emotiva. La cantante entonó una balada inédita y la abogada juró apoyo incondicional. Esa atmósfera idílica se rompió, explica Polos, al descubrir que la misma mujer que la había hecho sentir única convirtió su espacio más personal en escenario de un romance paralelo. Por ahora, Ana Gabriel va a emitir.
Okay, so I think a primary. You're literally such a piece of shit. So like, I don't even know why I'm with you, honestly.
No, en serio, sí soy yo actriz. No, o sea, sí actúa, o sea, sí, porque si ¿ustedes son actrices?
¿Pero?
Mira cómo Don Omar mueve el micrófono. ¿Listo?
She prayed for everyone.
Again.
Your hair got in your mouth? You deaf. You gotta trim your face, mama. Yep. Ay, ya la grabé que tú hiciste. I never knew she was her. I thought she was an editor. I didn't know she was her.
Ya que esta chica fue a un restaurante de la isla que le sirviera.
I did not tell you it was her. Mr. Reader. You know I wanted that for the hands, right? Because we were going to add her little hands.
Yes.
Her paws.
This one?
No, her paws.
For what?
To add her paw to the paper. I'm going to paint her with washable paint. That was a little poster. I'll color all of them. A little poster.
For her paw. Here.
It's fine. I'm just telling you, don't use all of them. I want one.
I'm not going to go. I'm just thinking this one was not.
So you pick the pink one.
One Irish chicken.
Nobody else did it, right, Mama?
Just like 30 seconds.
You go pick two up. Sure. Give it over there.
Scars have somehow acquired acidic weapons. We've already lost several supply caravans.
Luckily, they left some of the acid behind. I've traced the origin to this region.
We need to shut this operation down at the source, Freelancer.
It would be my pleasure.
No, wait. Or see. You will see.
Freelancer, spy can shape the energy. There are two...
Found the first relic.
Is this supposed to look like that?
No, it's volatile. You'll need to silence it, Freelancer.
Whatever that case is.
Wait, when?
No.
Yeah.
No. If you're complaining, someone do not. You're going to be home today. Okay. Excuse you. Hey. Did you not read on my purse? I drop it, everything's gonna fall out for you. That's it.
Energy levels have dropped by 50%.
The other little buggies ain't a book and they be there. Yeah, I'm gonna play back. In the closet. Should have took one with you. Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon? Go get Brandon. Okay, Brandon. Where's Brandon? Where's Brandon?
Could use a hand here.
Oh, fuck, man. Está, pues anda ahora ahí. Esto, bien.
Foxy. No, a foxy. A foxy. Ready.
Claro. O sea, esto.
No, she's ready. Oh my goodness. Alright, gonna get hit. Stop. Dude, she don't listen.
What happened?
She's banging her head against the fucking TV thing.
X.
Yeah, no, she's breathing. How hard she breathes.
X.
Roxy.
X. Stop. Okay. X.
Silence. You did it, freelancer.
Hey, those eggs, are they filled with acid? Yeah. The scars were bringing them into the relic.
Nothing up your
Might be
bed
how they
but
make
that.
weapons.
We should check the second relic, just to be sure.
What? What? Me? What? Yeah.
There's the second relic.
And a lot of scars.
They've got eggs too. I think Ethan was correct.
Oh, you gotta get out the belly.
I'm watching you, Peppa. Yeah, I'm watching you. Get out of my purse.
Need some help?
Sí, madre. Oh my God, bro.
Could use a hand here.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm in trouble here.
Luego, pues quédate aquí ayudándome. What the fuck are you leaving for? Fucking no, man. Oye, pero donde quiera que me paro, esta mierda me dan.
Give me a hand.
Este mamabicho. Pero ¿y qué le pasa? Sí.
Why you asking?
And silenced. That should... What was that?
Just a hunch, but that might be the source of the eggs.
Which means the job's not done.
It came from underground. I'll find you a way in.
Why does it look like that? Not in the middle of the fucking... Yeah. Want him like this though. So
Only way forward is down.
This is a bad rip.
thank you.
Is that?
Another relic.
Why
Take
is it
caution.
look
It's
like
unstable.
that though?
She
Yeah,
did
it's
say
fine.
it was unstable.
Collect the fragments to silence it.
You want to take it?
Thank you.
Stars, the bottom through the ceiling.
Good company, bad company.
Energy readings are stabilizing. It'll just take a minute. Just hold tight. Any interference could cause it to spike again. Get back to the platform.
Waking up can actually be dangerous. That's why she doesn't force them. And
Yeah,
then
but I-
refuse will also be made stronger by J1.
for another dip.
Please tell me that didn't come from...
Find out soon enough.
So, hypothetically, what would we experience if the freelancer was eaten?
Hey, don't answer that. Give me a hand.
It's dead. You did it. The caravans are safe.
I need a drink.
You know your link's still connected, right?
Yep, that's how much I need a drink.
Was close.
You're back. Good. Matt's been hanging a white
Oh,
party for you.
no.
Do I smell Manticar?
I'm sure you do. You should try it sometime.
Regretfully, I have. I've been looking for you, freelancer.
Why does it feel like you want something?
Because I do.
Do you ever get tired of being a spy?
Sometimes, but what's truly tiring is being called a spy.
So if you're not a spy, then what are you?
I'm an intelligence agent. Now that I've answered your question, I've got one for you. Tell me what happened in the Heart of Rage.
Anything specific?
You went in with some of the finest Bastion freelancers. Why didn't they make it back?
It was chaos. Your guess is as good as mine.
Every other survivor was physically injured or psychologically scarred.
I was lucky.
Then you barely caught your breath before you started picking up contracts again.
Yeah? So,
So why weren't you damaged?
I'm fast, and I'm good at dodging.
That's kind of general.
I mean, I'm hard to hit. I'm elusive. That's probably what kept me alive. Sorry if you were looking for something deeper.
That's all right. So why go back to work so quickly?
It's what I do. I'm a freelancer. I figured getting back in the suit would make it easier to move on.
I know that feeling.
Yeah, right.
I may not be a lancer, but I've been in this fight a long time. I've lost friends too.
So are you damaged?
Probably.
You hide it well.
I work for Corvus. It's part of the job.
I get it.
Oh, no, this wasn't easy. Next time we'll talk about something else.
Sure. We'll sit down and have a nice chat.
I'll be in touch.
I'm sure you will.
process, Chris used the white magic stone, known for purifying toxins. Its aid was tedious, but essential. He had to use the white mana contained in the stone to carefully remove any toxic buildup in his body. A single mistake could cause extensive and widespread pain. Even so, he carried out the purification process with ease, as if it were simple. Meanwhile, outside the cave, Hazard
Fuck
asked
you. Chill, bro. Keep on going off the fucking
Butler
roof.
replied that he had immediately entered the cave of punishment, but admitted he was concerned. He said that if anything happened in there, Chris would have no way to call for help. That made Hazard question whether he had made a mistake by sending him. He remembered when his son was just a child with great potential, and wondered when things started to fall apart. Perhaps, he thought, the gifts he gave him during childhood had made him arrogant. Maybe he himself was ashamed of his son's
Fucking kidding, bro.
even so, he preferred to see him dead than to allow him to keep living in that disgraceful way. Despite these doubts, Hazar recalled his son's words about proving himself through actions. He tried to push away any hope, reminding himself that Chris had disappointed him too many times. He then asked Cox if he had noticed anything strange when Christian entered the cave. Butler hesitated, visibly nervous, but Hazar demanded honesty. Cox then revealed that Chris had entered with some magic stones, including the dream stone, known for reducing hallucinations. Since they didn't know the ciphers used that inside the cave, they could consider opening it immediately. But Hazar decided against it. He said that if that was the case, then let him die. 1 month later, Hazar returned to the cave to retrieve his son. He expected to find a broken boy, but to his surprise, the doors opened. Chris walked out normally. He was calm, composed, and said he had been waiting for him. He asked if his father was surprised. He said he had promised to return as a new man. Hazar's reaction was one of shock, and for a moment he was even moved. Chris thought he hadn't seen that look in his father's eyes since childhood. Hazar acknowledged that his son had endured much longer than he expected, but made it clear he still didn't trust him. Chris replied that he understood and moved toward the boy. Internally, he knew his father believed he had barely survived the experience, but that wasn't the case. He had been too busy training. His initial goal was to obtain the ideal body for mastering the sword. Thanks to the white mana stone, every cell in his body now pulsed with life. The dreamstone also played a crucial role. Cox had tried to stop him from using it, fearing he would become disoriented, but the hallucinations had allowed him to accelerate his physical transformation process dramatically. With that, Chris had managed to create 2 magical cores. In theory, his power was already immense. He quickly mastered the first star spell called Louise. After all, like it or not, Chris was still a genius, both in his past life and this one. To protect himself, he used his darkness core to conceal his light core. He knew that if the demons found out he was using light magic, there would be enough for everything it ended there would already be a great victory. But then he noticed something strange. He found another magic stone, and upon examining it, he realized it was yet another dream stone. He understood that symbols conspired to make him fail that test. However, instead of getting angry, he decided to use that person as a stepping stone to become even stronger. After fulfilling his promise, Chris sought out his father and said he wanted to make his request. Hazar allowed it. Chris declared that he wanted to go to the training grounds of no place there, as those knights were part of one of the 3 founding orders of the Dark Magic Clan, and were all elite warriors. But Chris explained that he didn't want to join the order, only to observe the training. He believed he could learn something by watching them in action. Hazar agreed,
Not there for you.
not to cause any problems.
Go away.
The opportunity to say that he had one more request. Shortly after, the scene shifted to the training center. The Black Swamp Knights had gathered, and as expected, all eyes turned toward Chris with suspicion as he prepared to train. The murmurs began. Someone asked if that was the young master known for causing trouble. Chris thought it was natural to receive that kind of reception. After all, in that place, strength mattered more than social status, and he knew that no one there liked him. But there was a greater reason behind his presence. He wanted to gain access to the library. For that, he needed a letter of recommendation from the vice commander. Only with that letter could he obtain the key to the library, and that was his second request. There, in heavily guarded halls, were all the clan's dark magic grimoires, and to truly learn dark magic, that was where he needed to go. Chris wondered why his father had placed a condition on his continued presence, considering he was still a member of the clan. That was when he remembered his father mentioning the incident with the Black Market, where he had tried to sell forbidden grimoires. Reflecting on it, Chris concluded that the previous owner of that body had indeed been a disaster, and everything he had received so far was well deserved. Even so, his top priority at that moment was to earn the vice commander's recognition. But then, Thurn suddenly appeared and began provoking him, saying that the place wasn't meant for a worm like him. Chris recognized the boy's irritating face, but quickly realized it could be a good opportunity. Thurn declared that it was his final warning and told him to leave before ending up back back and gave him punishment. Chris countered by asking if he had any proof of what he was saying, reminding him that their own father had allowed him to be there. At that moment, a new figure appeared. It was Vice Commander Mellon, who said she respected the Count's decision, but stated that Christian was not a trustworthy person. Chris analyzed the situation, realizing she possessed at least 4-star dark magic and was trying to intimidate him with her dark aura. However, he was already used to that kind of threat and simply bowed respectfully before her. Mellon was surprised that he had resisted the dark energy, but Chris maintained his composure and thought that with the Vice Commander's intervention, there was no more avoiding it. He would have to prove that he was worthy of using her training field. Mellon herself asked if he was willing to fight one of the demons present and win. To her, Chris's actions had already crossed the line into insolence, but Chris responded firmly, explaining that he only wished she would refrain from using dark magic. He said that due to the negligent lifestyle of the former owner of that body, his compatibility with dark energy was very low. For that reason, he proposed an unarmed that even if it was only a duel, she could not allow the heir to be seriously injured, which would be a serious problem. She asked if he believed he had any chance without weapons. Chris replied that there was only one way to find out. Already determined, he pointed to Thurn as his opponent, saying he would serve quite well for this test. Thurn, outraged, demanded to know how he dared challenge him, but Mellon acknowledged that he was actually the most suitable opponent. After all, Thurn was at the 2nd star, which was already a rare feat for someone only 13 years old. Age didn't matter, 13, 23, or 33. Without talent, no one would ever reach that level. But Chris was no ordinary person either. He declared that if he needed to prove his worth, he would have to fight someone stronger than himself. That was why Thurn was the best choice. He even taunted him, asking if his little brother was scared. Thurn accepted the duel. Later, the two were surrounded by a group, ready to fight. Most people cheering for Thurn, hoping he would crush Chris. Chris, in turn, asked what the conditions for victory would be. Mellon replied that the fight would end when one of them could no longer continue fighting. She thought Chris was being absurdly insolent and didn't even know his place. However, Chris kept provoking and asked if his opponent had understood the rules, implying that everyone thought he was going to get beaten up. Thurn was enraged by the comments and promised he would make Chris regret it, guaranteeing he would never open his mouth again. But it was Chris who attacked first. He slapped Thurn in the face so fast that he couldn't even react. Chris sarcastically warned him that the fight had already started. Furious, Thurn tried to strike back, but completely missed. Chris, with the experience from his past life, knew that this was practically cheating. In an unarmed duel, he could use refined techniques that surpassed dark energy. With a precise move, he landed a knee in Thurn's stomach, reminding him that he had reached the 3-star level using light power inside the cave of punishment. Everyone was shocked to see him spitting blood. Mocking him, Chris asked if he was crying, and if he wanted a little cuddle. Thurn, confused, wanted to know what trick he was using. Chris replied that he wasn't using any tricks. It was just that the other guy was too weak. Still, Thurn, determined, gathered dark energy and promised to kill him. Chris liked the aggressive stance. He noted that his opponent was fast, but he kept dodging every attack. He thought it still wasn't enough. When Thurn tried to strike with full force, Chris completely blocked and dissipated all of his dark energy, counterattacking with a precise uppercut to the chin. For him, fighting was a matter of instinct and reflex. Thurn fell without resistance, and everyone around was in shock. They couldn't believe what they had just seen. Even Mellon was stunned. It simply made no sense to anyone. Then, with a calm and confident tone, Chris asked if he had now proven himself worthy. Mellon, still shocked by the outcome of the duel, ended up confirming that he had proven himself. Chris, satisfied, responded naturally and thought it had been great. He was relieved. From now on, he could learn all the magic and swordsmanship he wanted. Later, Chris was analyzing his own progress with dark magic. He had finally reached the 1-star level. He reflected that because he wasn't used to that type of energy, it had taken him a little longer than expected, but he had still managed it. Even so, he knew he needed to develop that power, while also improving his light magic. When he rang the small bell on the dresser, a spectral servant appeared before him. It was Marie, his personal attendant. She asked if he had called her. Chris thought that the banshee, the spirit inhabiting Marie, was of a very high level, which made it impressive to have her as maid, considering all the wrongs the former Chris had done. Maybe it made sense. However, he decided that later on he would replace her. At that moment, he just asked for some juice. Marie asked if he wanted juice with human blood or something like that, but Chris replied that he preferred strawberry. She insisted, saying blood juice was delicious, but he reaffirmed that what he really wanted was strawberry juice. Later, while walking, Cox called out to him, noticing he was going to train early once again. He showed concern, thinking that such frequent training would end up hurting the young master. Still, he was cautious as he knew more discipline than he wanted to. He warned, however, that too many people were watching his steps, which could be dangerous. Chris listened to what he said, but didn't respond directly. He thought to himself about all the stories that had only said that he had never asked for this. This caused
What are we up to today? What are we up to today?
Keep that shit on.
What are we up to today? Hey, welcome back to Uncle Bonnie's.
Hi, Serena.
We've got some new stock you might like, but maybe you'll be more interested in my Tesla
Yeah, how you doing? Welcome. What's too, man? He shared that in. He shared. Like, welcome.
Okay, I'm interested. What happened with the Tesla?
Okay, you know how Teslars are super cute but can electrocute you, right?
Okay.
Alright, so I got a couple of freelancers to capture a baby Teslar for me.
How'd you make that happen?
They owed my Uncle Bonnie a favor, but that's not the point. By the time I opened the cage door, it was dead. It was so sad and sweet, I had to give it a goodbye hug. But it was actually only sleeping, because it yawned, opened one eye, then zapped me.
Wow. What did that feel like?
Kind of like a static shock, times a billion.
Are you okay?
Sure. I mean, I still get the tingles, but my vision is clearing up. So, you know, you kind of...
I do.